Hello everyone. Today we're talking more in depth about identity management in the cloud, especially about registration and authentication. In today's digital landscape, where cloud computing has become the backbone of modern businesses, identity management plays a pivotal role in securing and efficiently managing access to cloud resources. In this video, we will delve into the critical aspects of IAM, particularly focusing on user registration and authentication, providing detailed insights and practical examples. User provisioning involves creating, modifying, and configuring user accounts, roles, and permissions within a cloud-based environment. It ensures that users have the appropriate access to cloud resources. In Amazon Web Services, Identity and Access Management, administrators can create user accounts using the AWS command line interface with the command AWS IAM create user. They can then assign roles and permissions to these users. Next, self-registration. Self-registrations empowers users to create their accounts, particularly in public-facing applications or services, enhancing user autonomy. Amazon Cognito, an AWS service, enables self-registrations for web applications. Users can sign up using their email or social media accounts, fostering a user-friendly and frictionless experience. Admin-driven registration is used in enterprise scenarios. Here, administrators often take control of user registration to ensure security compliance. For example, Azure Active Directory allows administrators to invite users via the Azure portal, assigning roles and permissions as needed, ensuring a secure and standardized registration process. Authentication. Authentication is the process of verifying the identity of users accessing cloud resources. It involves various authentication methods and mechanisms to ensure secure access. Authentication methods vary and include the old tried and tested username and password, which is common yet vulnerable. Additional security layers like multi-factor authentication can enhance security. For example, Google Cloud Identity Platform allows enabling MFA in the Google Admin Console to bolster user authentication. Generally, you can use MFA, multi-factor authentication, which requires multiple forms of verification for access, and single sign-on, SSO, which simplifies access to multiple services with a single set of credentials. Also, biometrics, something I've talked about in a previous video, which utilizes, for example, fingerprints or facial recognition for authentication. And also, we always have token-based authentication, which is basically like Kerberos tickets or the like. Next, Identity Federation. Identity Federation allows users to leverage credentials from a trusted identity provider to access resources in another cloud environment. For example, set up SAML-based federation between Azure AD and AWS, enabling Azure AD users to access AWS resources with the Azure AD credentials. Next, OAuth. OAuth is an authorization framework and permits third-party applications to access resources on behalf of users without exposing credentials. OAuth is commonly used for web applications, allowing users to log in using Google or Facebook accounts securely. Implementing security policies is vital, defining password complexity, expiration, and lockout rules. For example, AWS IAM enables administrators to define password policies to enforce security measures. Identity stores. Store user identities securely, often using LDAP, Active Directory, or cloud-based directories like Azure AD or AWS Directory Service. Integrate LDAP with AWS Directory Service to manage user identities in a cloud environment. User Lifecycle Management. Proper user lifecycle management ensures efficient provisioning and deprovisioning of user accounts as they join or leave an organization. Use Azure AD Connect to automate user provisioning from an HR system, ensuring timely and accurate account creation. Next, authorization. After authentication, authorization defines user access rights to specific resources based on roles and permissions. In AWS IAM, create policies specifying actions and resources a user or role is allowed to access, enhancing resource security. Security considerations. Ensuring cloud identity security involves security groups control network-level access to resources, logging and monitoring, detect and respond to suspicious activities through tools like AWS CloudTrail and CloudWatch, compliance, Use services like AWS Config to monitor and maintain compliance with industry regulations. Next, cloud identity providers. Major cloud providers offer identity provider services, such as Azure AD, AWS IAM, and Google Cloud Identity, simplifying user management within their ecosystems. For example, Google Cloud Identity Platform facilitates secure user management and access control in Google Cloud services. Next, user experience. A seamless, user-friendly authentication experience reduces friction while maintaining security. Design user-friendly login pages for your applications and provide guidance on password security during onboarding. Scalability and availability. Cloud identity services must be scalable and available to handle increased user loads and maintain uptime. Implement autoscaling for identity services to accommodate traffic spikes and ensure multi-region redundancy for high availability. Disaster recovery and backup. Regularly back up user data and configuration settings to ensure business continuity in case of an attack or any incident that leads to data loss. Use AWS Backup for automated backups of identity data in Amazon Cognito. Training and awareness. Educate users and administrators on secure authentication practices and the importance of safeguarding credentials. For example, conduct security training sessions and provide resources on recognizing and mitigating security threats. To conclude and summarize, we talked about user registration. User provisioning allows administrators to create and manage user accounts in a cloud environment. Self-registration empowers users to create their accounts, while admin-driven registration ensures security and compliance. Next, we talked about some authentication methods. Various authentication methods exist, including username, password, MFA, SSO, biometrics, and so on. Implementing MFA and secure password policies enhances authentication security. Identity federation and OAuth. Identity federation enables users to use credentials from trusted identity providers, IDPs, to access resources in different cloud environments. OAuth facilitates secure third-party access to resources without exposing user credentials. User lifecycle management. Efficient user provisioning and deprovisioning processes ensure timely and secure access control as users join or leave an organization. Finally, we talked about security and best practices. Security considerations encompass security groups, logging, monitoring, compliance, and user training. Scalability, availability, disaster recovery, and backup strategies are essential for maintaining a robust IAM system. By understanding and implementing these principles and examples, organizations can effectively manage user identities and access while maintaining security and user convenience in their cloud environments. That concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next. Stay safe.